All right, so you wanted like the real inside scoop on how this whole Dream Theater reunion's going down.
Uh-huh.
We went deep for this one. Band website, press releases, even found this article buried in some German metal magazine. Oh, and of course, got to have Ola England, right? His interview with the guys had some Goal LD.
Dude, it's way more than just a reunion tour at this point. I mean, Mike Portnoy, after 13 years, feels like Dream Theater 2.0 or something.
And for real, band website makes it official, right?
Yeah.
Portnoy's back. Been in the studio with him since, what, late 2023? And the tour's in full swing, obviously. But here's the thing that blew my mind. That Ola interview, right? They said Night Terror, that new single, was literally the first thing they played together when Portnoy was back.
You can just feel the energy through the screen. It's like they could have played it safe, comeback single, all that. But nope, they went with whatever that first creative spark was. Respect.
Exactly. It's like Portnoy said. You got to picture him saying it, big grin on his face, "I'm back, baby." But this goes way deeper than just a cool quote, right?
Oh, yeah. Way deeper. Think about it. This is a band that's basically lived life together. 40 years. Portnoy's talked about it. Marriages, kids, even funerals. They've been through it all.
Damn. I mean, how many bands have that level of connection? Got to affect their music,
100%. It's not just about being insane musicians, though they definitely are. It's like this unspoken language they've built up over decades.
Interesting. And when Portnoy talks about their sound, he made this surprising comparison. He said they're more like Van Halen or Pantera, guitar and drums at the forefront than like your typical prog band where the keyboards take over everything.
That's a good point, actually. It gets at what makes them unique. They can shred with the best of them, but they don't forget about the hook. Think images and words. Those songs, they just grab you, even with all the crazy prog stuff underneath.
Totally. Even Ola was saying that in the interview, how, seeing him live, the crowd might kind of zone out a little during the super technical parts.
Yeah.
But when those big choruses hit, place goes nuts.
Exactly. Shows they get it, On record, on stage, got to walk that line between blowing minds and keeping people engaged. Veteran band move, for sure.
For sure. So let's talk about where all this is heading. The new album, Parasomnia. Band website lays it out. February 7th, 2025, release date. Track list looks wild, and they're already hyping up some special editions. Going all out.
And the concept itself is pretty cool. Not like a full story album like they've done before, but it's all about sleep disturbances, different ways that plays out, kind of like 6 degrees of inner turbulence in that way. Different songs, but tied together by this big idea.
Right. And get this, remember that German article I mentioned?
Yeah.
They say the album was done back in September.
Wow. That's a power move right there. Most bands would be rushing to capitalize on the reunion. Drop an album ASAP, not Dream Theater. They took their time. Having that album finished before the tour even started, it's like a statement.
It's like they're saying, we're back, but at our terms.
Exactly. Plus, it means they've had months to rehearse, get tight as a band again. That's why they can pull out those deep cuts for the hardcore fans.
Speaking of which, Ola dropped another bombshell in that interview. Portnoy's back in charge of the set list. Everyone seems pretty stoked about that one.
Yeah, it's static for now, but they've hinted that it might evolve as the tour goes on. Smart move. Keep the fans happy, but leave some room for, improvisation and surprises down the line.
Right. And here's the biggest surprise, straight from Portnoy himself. He's always been super passionate about the human element of music, right?
Totally.
Well, guess what? They're ditching the click track for this tour. He was talking about feeding off the crowd, letting that energy shape the performance.
Whoa, wait, hold on. They're going full L improv.
Well, there's a twist.
Okay.
They're not going completely off the rails. Portnoy is using these electronic pads as cues, but only the band and crew can hear them.
Ah, okay, so it's like controlled chaos.
Exactly. Best of both worlds, right?
Yeah. Tight transitions, but still room for that raw live energy that Portnoy thrives on. Smart.
It's like they get to have their cake and eat it too,
Yeah.
All the crazy, precise stuff they're known for. But with that raw, anything can happen live energy.
Totally.
Makes me think about that whole thing with Ola and that signed Petrucci poster.
Oh, yeah, with the date messed up. Maybe we can skip that one.
Right. Let's go to the good part. Ola's finally gets his hands on a Majesty guitar. Can you imagine?
That's awesome.
I mean, we all have those musicians we idolize, right? But to actually get a gift like that from one of your heroes,
Yeah.
that's next level.
Totally. Really cool moment. But, okay, back to Parasomnia. I think we got to dig a little deeper into what we actually know about this thing. We talked about the whole sleep disturbance thing, but what are they actually like exploring with that?
Well, just based on the song titles, it's going to be a trip. You got
Yeah.
Insomniac's Lullaby, Dream Eater, Hypnagogic Visions. It sounds like they're going full-on surreal with this one.
And knowing Dream Theater, they're going to find some seriously creative ways to weave those themes into the music. I mean, these guys are masters of time signatures, dynamics, even pulling in different genres. They're going to create a whole sonic world that reflects that concept.
And it's interesting, right? In a world where everyone's all about singles, playlists,
Yeah.
Dream Theater's like doubling down on the ALBVM experience.
It's almost like a rebellious move these days, isn't it? They're saying, sit down, listen to this whole thing from start to finish, get lost in it.
It's a bold statement. And it kind of makes you wonder, could this be what defines their next chapter? Bringing the album back as, like, the thing.
It's a good question. I think it shows how confident they are, both in the music and their fans. They know their audience is there for the long haul, for the deep cuts, the crazy instrumental sections. They're just being themselves, even if it goes against the grain.
So for you, what's the most exciting part of this whole reunion? What's grabbing your attention?
I think it's that feeling of renewal, you know? You can hear it in the music, the interviews, the way they're approaching the tour. It's not just reliving the past, it's using that shared history to create something new and exciting.
And for everyone listening, what's standing out to you? Are you a longtime Dream Theater fan, pumped to see what they do next? Or is this what's making you curious about them?
Either way, hit us up. What are your thoughts on this whole reunion? What are you hoping to hear from Dream Theater in the coming months?
Because this whole deep dive, it's not just about breaking down a band and their music, right? It's about that bigger picture. Creativity, collaboration, what it means to express yourself through art.
Yeah, Dream Theater's story, it's like a reminder. It's never too late to reconnect with your passions, to push the limits, to create something that truly matters.
And they're taking us all along for the ride.
Buckle up. It's going to be wild.
It's kind of wild when you step back and think, this is a band celebrating their 40th anniversary.
Yeah.
4 decades, making music, pushing the boundaries, connecting with fans all over the world.
It really is. And they're not slowing down either. This whole reunion thing, the new album, the tour, it just shows how much passion they still have. They're dedicated to their craft, that's for sure.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, what's their secret? You know, how do they stay relevant, keep finding new things to do after all these years?
I think a big part of it is they're not afraid to change things up. They've experimented with different sounds, different ideas, even different band members over the years. But they always stay true to who they are, that core Dream Theater prog metal sound.
And you can't forget about the sheer talent, right? These guys are like the top tier of musicians. When they come together, it's something else.
It's like they challenge each other to be better, to push the limits of what's possible, and you can feel that energy. It spills out into the audience, you know, creates this shared experience.
Totally. And that connection with the fans, it's something special. They've built a whole community around their music, and they seem to really appreciate that.
Yeah, you can tell the way they interact with fans, online, in person. They're accessible, they're engaged, and they actually seem to care about the people listening to their music.
So for someone who's just getting into Dream Theater now, where would you tell them to start?
Images and Words is always a good starting point. It's a classic, shows off what they do best, those big, epic prog metal songs. But honestly, you can't really go wrong. Every album takes you on a different journey.
Right. And for the hardcore fans out there,
Hooray!
get ready for Parasomnia. Sounds like it's going to be another wild ride.
Oh, I can't wait. And to see and play these new songs live with Portnoy back there on drums, gonna be epic.
Absolutely. So whether you're a longtime fan or just discovering Dream Theater now, keep an eye out for these guys. They're a band that just keeps defying expectations, pushing the boundaries. It's a good reminder what music can do, you know, take you to another world.
Totally. And as they head into this new chapter, who knows what they'll come up with next. I'm excited to see what happens.
Me too. All right, everyone. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. Keep exploring, keep the music playing, and we'll catch you next time.